Will AI replace sample libraries? Now that's a question we're going to look at as part of this video, but today we're looking at the AI Violin plugin by ACE Studio. Now the first thing we're going to do right off the bat is a blind test comparing it with two other sample-based violins. You're not going to see which one's being played. You're going to hear the same passage of music 3 times. Let me know down in the comments which one you think is the AI and which is your favorite. So without further ado, let's have a listen. Now, I've hoped you've locked in your answers down in the comments, which you think is the AI and which is your favorite. I can now reveal that number 1 was not the AI. It was the iconic violin by Stream Tech Music. Number 2 was in fact the AI Violin by ACE Studio, and number 3 was BBC Symphony Orchestra, their lead violin, which is part of the Pro version of this. But what did you think of the overall sound? In all honesty, I like the performance of the violin, but I prefer the sound of the sample libraries. This is still very early stages in terms of AI. And in all honesty, you don't have an absolute ton of control. Now, I must admit, it was extremely easy to input the MIDI. I connected it to my digital audio workspace via this bridge. I just quite literally copy and pasted the MIDI down and then recorded it into ACE Studio, which is this right here. And then quite literally, when I hit play, it will play that AI passage. Granted, after you input the MIDI, it has to render it, and you don't have live MIDI. So I can press play now because it's already got it rendered, and actually you can see over there that it was playing. If I play that again, you can see, but if I go into here and want to make some changes, for example, make that slightly slower, or shorter I should say, we have to AI rendering. And it has to render it again. You don't have any live playing. That is a disadvantage in terms of the AI. And you don't have absolute control over it. You can notice down here, expression control is coming soon. So we are going to get more control soon. You can also see there's 3 different violins. I have this first one loaded. If we drop in another one, just to hear if it sounds any different, note again, if I press play, it's got a render. But overall, I'm extremely impressed in how it interprets the music. Now that's a key word there, interprets, because what's really nice about sample libraries is we have absolute control over the overall sound, over what articulation is being played. You can probably see right there, those small little dots there. I control via key switches which articulation is being played. If I want it to play flautando, I can get it to play flautando. If I want a spizzicato, it will play me a spizzicato. With this library, I've got control over the different mic positions. I can go between different layers using the mod wheel. Obviously, you're going to be limited to the sound of the samples themselves, but we are spoilt for choice in terms of violin sample libraries. You don't yet, that's another key word, yet have that control with AI, but I'm sure one day we will, to the point where we'll have voice prompts or text prompts as well, where we can say play in the Baroque style or play in the Romantic style, or I want this note to be a flutter tongue in terms of a woodwind instrument. So at the moment it is very, very, very early stages. And in all honesty, I would really like to see a nice mesh up between sample libraries and AI, kind of combining the two to make that beautiful sounding sample library as expressive as this violin here. So that would be a really interesting combination. But in all honesty, the pros in terms of the AI violin, in terms of AI in general, is it's very beginner friendly. It's very easy to use. With the MIDI in Logic, this took me, so I stole this from an old piece of mine and just took the violin section, and then I spent about 30 minutes working with the MIDI and putting some expression in, flicking between the different key switches, other little bits and bobs like that to make it sound reasonably realistic. This was only 30 minutes of work for 30 seconds of music, and there's obviously more I could do, but with the AI I just recorded the MIDI. Quite literally hit this little record button, it recorded the MIDI directly, and there was a slight change I had to make with one of these long notes here, because with this I needed that for the slur, but in the AI it made it do a little bit something weird. But other than that, perfect translation and no work whatsoever. So very beginner friendly as well, and it made my life a lot easier and quicker. But stylistically I have very, very limited control over what's going on here. Obviously more controls are coming soon. We're going to have hopefully more instruments added as well. That's another, at the moment, disadvantage. If I want the whole orchestra to sound the same, BBC Symphony Orchestra, everything was recorded in the same space, I can get a really realistic orchestra sounding very quickly. There's only one AI instrument. I say that there's the vocals as well, but a vocal and violin piece, there you go. That's what you could do with AI. But I wait for the day when we have a full AI orchestra. I'll be very, very intrigued to see how that compares with something like BBC Symphony Orchestra and a live orchestra as well. Other pros that are definitely worth mentioning: number one, in terms of just file size, a good sample library, BBC Symphony Orchestra, you're looking at hundreds of gigabytes. This is minute, it's cloud-based. I've quite literally got an 8 terabyte SSD sitting over there now because of how many sample libraries I have, while AI, it's going to take up relatively nothing at all. You're not going to need external SSDs to run these things, and they'll obviously continually improve. Cost: BBC Symphony Orchestra Pro full version, £899. That's a lot of money, and that can get you, I think the subscription for 1 year of this is about 199 USD. So you're looking at 4 years of subscription to a service like this that will obviously continually update and improve, while your sample library will slowly age and degrade over time. But then on the other side, you do not have the same amount of control. There's obviously not the same amount of selection. There's biased in terms of style. So at the moment, AI is very limited. It's starting to come forward, and it honestly, it's extremely impressive, but it is very early. And we've been doing sampling for ages now, and they've come a long way, and they're getting more affordable and more user-friendly and more accessible, while AI is in its infancy in terms of this. So do I think it will replace sampling? Maybe. I don't know. I'm very intrigued to watch the space, but at the moment I don't think it is. It's definitely a fun little gimmick. That almost sounds rude saying that, but I must tip my hat to ACE Studio for what they're doing, because yes, this might not sound amazing right now. It's definitely convincing and it's definitely good to an extent, but in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, in 15 years' time? Will we all be composing with a full AI orchestra, or will we even need to? Will a director just type in, I need a film score that sounds sad, that will last 30 seconds long, that's slightly romantic, with a solo string ensemble consisting of a violin, a cello, a viola, and a double bass. And then there's his piece of music. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. This is definitely a hot topic and something that's been on my mind, especially with the AI voice video I did a while ago and now this AI violin. I'm intrigued to see what the future holds for us composers. But again, I'm really intrigued to hear your thoughts down in the comments as well of what you think of this. But again, limited controls at the moment, more to come. And I'll definitely be doing more videos on it as the AI world progresses. But again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.